I met a gypsy.
What do you think about the whole Baker's Factory marriage to the KTM Group now?
Right.
Because like even not to speak on too many people's whatevers, but big rift was caused when Ando didn't want to be there. Cooper Webb went through the exact same thing, and it's just like there's been some legitimate superstars in the sport, like
Right.
champions of the sport, that are like basically held hostage to a farm in Florida. And like full disclosure, I love Aldon. Like of all the times, like I don't have a bad word to say about him as a person. So it's not in any way that. But if you look like when you zoom out and you see that like one farm in Florida has caused so much like drama within the series, and it's always like these champions of the sport. It's not like fucking bums that are saying they don't want to go somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like legitimately the top dogs in the sport. Like, does it like blow your mind in a sense, like how much shit has like been caused around people like either being there or not being there?
Yeah, it's that subject gets real touchy, you know, because I was there when Jason left Aldon, and how much of a shitstorm that caused. Like he literally, I think he almost got fired, and obviously Bobby, whatever happened with that,
Pretty much got fired. Yeah.
So when I heard Cooper was leaving, I was like, I seen
This ain't gonna be good.
This ain't good.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it didn't last long. He ended up being back, but Aldon's always been really good to me. I've been there for the past few years. Had Brownie I worked with, who I love to work with, and Brownie's such a good guy, and I enjoyed it being there. But so it gets touchy, right? Because so KTM Husky, not Gas, but KTM Husky, they hire Aldon to be the main trainer, right? So they're spending a lot of money for that. So when you sign your contract, it says you have to train with at the Baker's Factory. So I think just they get frustrated when someone wants to leave, you know, and try something different, because I think for one, they've seen other writers do that and it didn't pan out that well, for one. But two, I think, you know, it's as a writer, you're always kind of, the Baker program is very repetitive. It's a lot of the same stuff every week. Like I could do with, I know exactly what the program is like, and it just, sometimes you want something fresh, you know, you want something to excite you and something fresh. And I just think that that's what Jason might have wanted. That's what Cooper might have wanted. And, but the brand pay for Aldon, for you to be under Aldon's wing. And that's where they keep the bikes. They know the bikes are safe. You know, they know they're going to be in shape. They know they're doing the work. Like every single lap time gets written down at Aldon's. So they really can monitor you completely on what you're doing. Like they can see what you did on Monday. They can pull up your heart rates from your gym, from your cycle in the morning, from your whatever. They can see everything you're doing. So I think they like knowing that, okay, he's not out fucking around. Like he's putting in the work. But sometimes just because you're putting in the work doesn't mean the results are going to come. Sometimes you need to try different stuff. But Aldon's been really good to me. I enjoyed it there. But, you know, I definitely, it was very repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's the same. It's not there's nothing from me that's like in any way negative to Aldon. Like the dude's a G. And as far as like banter goes, like he's a guy that can talk shit. Like he's a fun, like at least in my capacity, like he was a very fun person to hang out with. But I mean, it's crazy when you think about like the arc of the sport. You go from like Jeremy McGrath to Jeff Emig, and then you go Ricky Carmichael, and then Ricky Carmichael, Aldon Baker, and then it's just Aldon Baker. Like the whole sport from when he first started working with Ricky, like so many like top tier decisions, massive decisions of teams and riders and guys getting fired. It all stems off like either fitting in there or not fitting in there. And you just wonder, like, is that the best way for the sport to go to where a rider, like a top tier rider, is just you could literally have Roger log in from California and
Yeah.
check a rider's lap time every
Yeah.
like, is that even like, is that where we want to be? Is that like the best place to be? Is that, do we need to like error correct for this now and give guys like a bit more autonomy to like, because it's like, it's your career. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, it's your, there's arguments on both sides,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. There is for sure. And yeah, sometimes just people want something different, you know. When I was really successful, I always like to write a lot and really work on my writing and work on my, you know, my faults and try to correct them. And that's where how I would get better, because I had to work really hard on my techniques to go fast. And that's what worked for me. So I feel like at Aldon's, you would do your motos and then you're done. There's no, like, what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just go back to PC days. Like, we would ride till dark. And at the end of the day, you're trying to go the fast as you can on your motorcycle, but you also want to be strong and be able to whatever. But PC days, it was like, dude, we would test and ride and ride and ride, try and get the bike better, and just grind all the time and try different stuff. And when I was at Baker's, it was like, if I was struggling with something, I didn't really get to work on that specific thing. And that's where, like, I felt a
Yeah.
little bit bad for Jalik last year, because he was really struggling in the whoops. And I would try and help him a bit, but Alden really wanted him to get his motos in, which is understandable. But the whoops were killing him. Like, he could hit the corners so fast, could do the rhythms, but the whoops, he's losing like a second or two in the whoops. And I just,
Yeah, yeah.
Brownie and myself would try and help him, but he almost needed like screw motos off and just do 2 weeks of whoops or something like that, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know, just little things like that. But nothing but respect for those guys. Like, everyone has their own program, and that's just how the program runs. You go to Baker's factory. Like, when I went there, I did as I was told, and that was it. I never argued. I knew that was the program. Obviously, I'm an older guy now, so it was tough work, especially in the summers. Like, it was, dude, like, I wouldn't be fat, but I'd be coming back from injury like this year, you know, coming back in some of the gnarliest motos, like in the heat. And then Alden's just a tough bastard. Like, and same as Brownie. Brownie's a complete savage. So there's just the days where your body has nothing left in it. You've done all your motos and stuff like that. And then, you know, you got to go to the gym, and then Brownie will put you through the ringer in the gym, like some gnarly. I don't know. I always struggled with gym. It was hard for me. So it was just, and then I remember times where I would be like extremely sick, or you literally need to have a broken arm to not ride at Aldens. He will make you ride no matter what. So literally, it will make you fucking tough. I'll give you that. Like, there's no excuses there. Like, he's no bullshit for sure.
Yeah, I wonder whether there's like a diminishing returns of doing a moto when you're like that fucking cooked. But I know that there's times where I train and I'm like scared to do the next roll, because like I just feel like I could get fucked up by a kid. Like, I'm that tired,
Yeah.
and you've just got nothing left. But I feel like there's times where like they can be some of your best like roles, in a sense, where
Right.
you've just got nothing, but you just figure
Yeah,
out how to make something happen.
You're elevating yourself.
And it's like yeah, do you feel like that's a kind of a real thing? Like, and that's sort of, is there like utility in doing training when you're that fucked, or is there a point where you just need to rest?
I think both. I think sometimes, I mean, you want to take yourself to that next level, and that's what you do in the off season. You train in the off season's boot camp. You there's no excuses. You do the work, right? But it's during the week and throughout the season when you're starting to really feel it and you're starting to feel cooked. The program doesn't really slow down, so that's where it gets really tough. And then you don't want to be the whiny or the guy complaining.
Yeah.
That, hey, like, I'm feeling pretty tired and cooked today. Like, should we back her down a notch? Or, you know, you don't want to be that guy, so you keep going. Then you kind of dig yourself into a hole. So I don't know. Alden's got his own philosophy. Everyone's got their own philosophy, and hey, I'm very grateful for my time there.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.